Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going over another solo queue video. If you're unfamiliar with these videos, this is basically where I take a ranked game that I played in its entirety and I do a retrospective analysis of the video and of the game, I suppose. Just explaining what I do, the plays I make, the setups I do, why they're good, why they're bad. Just, critiquing my own gameplay basically to help you guys get better, help you guys learn, and to help myself get better and notice my own flaws as well. So, with that being said, let's get into the video. This is an Outback game. I typically play terrible on Outback. I don't know why. I just don't play very good. This is a very rare occasion where I do end up playing pretty decent. And I think it's just because of the way that I play Deimos and the way that the opponents don't counter my Deimos at all. So what I found is in solo queue, when you play Deimos, a lot of the time your teammates just die before you can even get a chance to really work your ability and get the other team to move around and things like that. So I found that the best way to do it when you're solo queuing is if they're on a top floor bomb site, you want to immediately off the or after the prep phase, throw a drone into site, figure out who's playing site. Okay, like you saw, I red ping people there. I saw Legion was inside. I saw Doc was inside. I think I saw Rook as well. And after that, I will have my prepped drone below already ready for me to jump in below and start making tracks. A lot of people like to use Deimos to track down roamers. That's only really useful if one, you're an absolute gunner and you win more gunfights than you lose no matter what. If it's a 50-50 gunfight, you think you have the advantage. Or two, if you're working with your team to create cutoffs on certain people and things like that. Me, especially on controller, I'm really not that much of a gunner. I get most of my kills by being smart, not having insane aim or crazy skills or anything like that. So I don't like to hunt the roamers as Deimos. I like to, like I said, I'll set up a prep drone below and figure out who's in sight and just track them. And once I get tracks on them, then I just start trying to shoot them through the floor like I did with that Legion. I did with the Doc, but he was actually bathroom, so he was relatively safe. Always be aware of getting flanked if you try this, especially as a Deimos player. As soon as you activate your ability and you're shooting from below, if the other team is communicating in any way, their roamers are going to come back and try to kill you, right? So you always have to be aware of the flank. I got my pick on Legion, got my intel on Doc, and then I get out because it's less than a minute left. Now I should start executing on site and trying to help my teammates out that way so that I don't end up being last alive, because that's never a good situation, right? So I go back out, I go picnic. And this, I'm kind of just taking gunfights here because we only have 30 seconds. I want to use that nade to clear anything that could potentially be on the door. There isn't. I get lucky that that Rook is terrible because I was obviously looking at a cam and he was not, he just missed. And from there, it's kind of just walk in and kill people, to be honest. The easy, or the hard job was getting my pick on Legion, making sure that nobody was flanking me, and then getting into the bomb site. Once I got into the bomb site and I killed the Rook, after that, I mean, I was in the driver's seat. I'm pretty much in control. I have piano control, right? The defenders then have to come to me to get me out. Otherwise, the round's just going to be over for them. So this one, they ran Party Office. I originally set up my drone for laundry, and then I figured out that they were Party Office somewhere here. Once I get my prep drone, I like to go on my other teammates' drones just to see what they see. And of course, all four of my teammates are drone face, phone face, not figuring anything out. So I noticed I'm not hearing anything above me, which means that they're not laundry. They're probably storage. And I'm trying to get my prep drone into a good spot for storage. Not storage, for Party Office, sorry. And my drone gets shot by the Rook down below. That doesn't really stop my strategy. I'm still going to do the same thing. I'm throwing a drone into the bomb site, trying to figure out who's playing site, who's not. There's a mute jammer there, so I can't really do anything about that. There's Doc. I see Doc's in sight. I red ping him. My drone gets shot. Not that big of a deal. It's fine. I'm just going to go below and track him down. Now here, I think I hear somebody in vending, which is this window that I'm about to jump into. So I try to see if I can get a freebie there. I don't. I'm not going to jump in there because I hear him there, right? There's no way I'm winning that gunfight in a 50-50. So I decided to go over here and hop in this way. And lucky for me, he decided to jump out at that exact second. That's like the worst timing he could have possibly had. So I get a freebie there. And then once I know that I have below control, it's clear, then I go to work on the dock. I last saw him bull door, so I'm going to expect him to still be in the same area. And look at that, he is. I'm activating the ability. It seems like he's on top of a table. So if they're on top of things, a lot of times I'll shoot a hole and then I'll throw a nade just to get him to move. And obviously he must have heard me rip my nade or something like that because he moved immediately. And then he ran over a mute jammer. Mute jammers are counters to Deimos. If you didn't know, if you're getting Deimos tracked, you run to a mute jammer, it cancels the Deimos track. So I throw a nade through the ceiling regardless to get rid of the mute jammer. So if I do want to track somebody else, that's one less thing that I have to worry about. But then it's also a 4v2, right? A big thing about Deimos or being some kind of roam clearer or just weird playstyle like this is that you have to know the feel of the round and figure out when you should get back to the bomb site and start executing on the bomb site with your team. If it's a 4v2, it's usually a pretty good sign to regroup with your team and just play trades, right? Because if you're playing trades in a 4v2, you shouldn't lose. Another example, it was first round when it got down to 45 seconds. I rotate back up to try to take some kind of map control close to the bomb site. Because obviously time is kind of in the pro league circuit, I guess. The announcers love to talk about how time is like the sixth man on the defender side. Time was never on the attacker's favor, right? You always need to be aware of it. You need to be deciding your attacks, deciding your plans based off of how much time you have left. And usually a minute, 45 seconds is a good time to start rotating from whatever vert you're playing to walk back up. Now here, you can play Deimos in above sites. I typically don't like to because nothing is more infuriating to me than getting C4'd. I'm sorry, I kind of misworded that. You can play Deimos even in first floor sites where you have to go above versus playing below them. I hate getting C4'd. There's nothing more infuriating to me than dying without losing a gunfight, right? Because if I die to something that's like dumb like a C4, that doesn't mean I lost a gunfight. It doesn't mean the guy was better than me. It just means I did something dumb, right? So I avoid that as much as possible. If they're on first floor bomb sites, I'm not going to play Deimos. Here, I was kind of just feeling myself. I'm going to play Lion. I'm going to try to power vending because I know that there's this castle playing it. And I nade the door a couple times just to make sure that I get rid of all the utility that would be on the door, whether it be a beeper or a Goyo or whatever else. And then I'm just walking in. Like I said, I'm feeling myself at this point. We're up 2-0 on Outback Attack, where we're doing fairly well. And I overstayed my welcome here. I should have gotten the pick on the castle and then just kind of baited a little bit until my teammates got up to the point where I was at. I didn't. I tried to play aggressive, and I ended up getting swung Reptile Hall because we had someone front lobby, but the door was still castled, right? They didn't get the castle off yet. So if I would have played a little more passive and waited for my teammate to open that castle, probably would have ended better for me. But my teammates end up winning the round, even though all I did was get one pick. So it worked out, honestly. It could have ended poorly, but it didn't. It worked out. Now, for defense, Outback is one of those maps where it's kind of really gunfighty, kind of ratty. Any map where like there's this many windows is just not great for strategical play. I don't know. I just really hate Outback. That's my Outback skepticism, no, criticism, I guess. I just don't like the map. So typically I love playing the SMG-11, but with how many long-range encounters you're going to have, long-range gunfights you're going to have on this map, it's better to not run something like the SMG-11, even if you're good on the gun. So I run to the T5 because Legion is an amazing operator. You can cover a lot of avenues, cover a lot of holes, a lot of lurks are going to be countered by a Legion. And his gun is amazing. It shoots straight, no recoil. As you can see, I got extended barrel on it because I just want the extra damage. And he has a super shorty for helping set up sight and a bulletproof cam. So he is the ultimate operator right now on defense. You can bring a Legion every round, every game, and no one will complain. Especially with how strong shields are, that makes Legion even more valuable because he is a hard counter to shields because they walk into his Legion mine and they have to pull it out, right? They can't sprint when they're Legioned. They have to back up to a safe location and pull out the Legion mine. So he's just so amazing in this meta. And as I'm playing him, my goal is to just hold top yellow because a lot of times they open the kids breach there and they'll take yellow control, and then from there they'll push their way towards the bomb site. So as long as I know that I'm controlling yellow, it'll make it more difficult for them to push the bomb site because they got to worry about me, right? Now, I try to play a little aggressive there. I shouldn't have. But this is another learning opportunity. You notice how I got hit there. I'm low. There's a dock. A lot of times people will sprint after their dock and ask for a stim or spam knife them or whatever. And most of the time, that'll just get them killed, right? Worrying more about getting a stim than about what's going on around you will get you killed. You will die, and then you'll blame your doc, right? Because you're like, he could have just given me a stim. I wouldn't have died if my doc was paying attention. Well, you kind of died because you're being stupid, relying on your teammate, first of all. And second of all, just play like there's not a doc, honestly. That's what I do. You see that eventually once he got his pick, he noticed that I was low, and he came over and stimmed me himself. I didn't have to give up my power position on yellow. I didn't die chasing him around. I didn't get him killed chasing him around. I just played my position like I normally do, like there wasn't a doc, and then he did his job and got around to me. And then he also killed the last two guys, so W doc. But that's my biggest advice with having a doc is play like you don't have one. And if he heals you, he heals you. If he doesn't, he doesn't. No reason to get mad about it. That's it. It was a quick 4-0, real quick video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe for more. Before I go, I do have something that I want to ask you guys personally. I noticed that these videos do way better than any other video on my channel. Like, period. Bar none. They do amazing. And I think that that's great, obviously, and it shows me that that's what you guys want to see. But personally, I feel like it's like it's pretty uncreative if all I do is just rip ranked vids and then talk over them. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Let me know in the comments if this is what you want, if you want me to do just this, or if you want me to continue to cycle these in between certain tip videos, or if you want to do something else altogether. Like I said, let me know in the comments. I appreciate it. This channel is to help you guys, obviously. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.